Hey guys, welcome back. I got another interview question for you guys. How do you call the garbage collection in Java? This is a question that comes up in a lot of interviews. And let's jump right into it. So, the first thing we want to ask ourselves is, what is a garbage collection? Well, the garbage collection is an automated form of memory management that is used to reclaim garbage. Now, you may be asking yourself, what is garbage? Whenever I'm programming code, I don't see any trash on my screen. So what is garbage? Well, garbage is memory that is occupied by objects that are no longer in use. So what that basically means is that when you're writing code and your code consists of objects that have been used, um, the garbage is actually the memory that is occupied by those objects that you are no longer using. Another thing I wanted to talk about is the JVM. And I'm sure you've heard this before, the JVM, the Java Virtual Machine. Now, the Java Virtual Machine is basically something that takes care of memory management for you. So let's just say you create an object, you run the application, and what's going to happen is that after you finish running that application, there's going to be some memory that is left over based on the object that you create. And the Java Virtual Machine is basically used to take care of memory management for you. Another thing I wanted to mention is that the JVM performs garbage collection when more memory is needed to continue the execution of the program. So, with all this being said, you may be asking yourself this question. Why would I call the garbage collection if the JVM already handles that? Well, that's a good question. The reason why is because there is no guarantee that the Java Virtual Machine will reclaim memory. Another thing is that explicitly calling the garbage collection will suggest to the JVM that garbage needs to be reclaimed. So when the JVM automatically runs, it's a possibility that some memory will not be reclaimed after execution of that program. And the garbage collection pretty much is going to allow you to make a suggestion to the JVM that, hey, garbage needs to be collected. Just send out a signal that, notifies the JVM that garbage needs to be collected. And another thing is that making the suggestion may result in desired memory being reclaimed. So basically, when you call the garbage collection, it just simply suggests to the JVM, and then the JVM is pretty much going to decide whether or not this garbage or this excess memory needs to be reclaimed. Now, the core of the question. How do you call the garbage collection? Now remember, if you're ever asked this question on interviews, remember that to call a garbage collection, there are two simple steps. First, you have to create a Java runtime object. And then second, you simply just have to invoke the GC command. And GC stands for garbage collector. And as you can see here, I have myself a runtime object. And in order to call the garbage collection, we just follow the steps that I've mentioned above. We'll first of all have to create a Java runtime object, and you can do that by typing runtime RT and setting that equal to runtime.getRuntime. After you do that, you just simply call rt.gc, which is going to call the garbage collection, and then basically whenever this code runs, it's going to make a suggestion to the JVM that there's some garbage that needs to be collected. Now, another thing to note is that the runtime object that you see here, this runtime object, it allows you to interface with the environment in which your application is running. So that's definitely something that you can keep note of, because this runtime object is basically a special object that pretty much just allows you to interface, or interact with the environment that your application is working on. And that's how you would go about calling the garbage collection in Java. So just remember, if you're ever asked on an interview, how do you call a garbage collection? Remember these two steps. You have to create a Java runtime object, and second, invoke the GC method. And that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video if you've learned something from here. Also, don't forget to subscribe. And see you in the next one.